Aloha, everyone. I am Misty Padilla with the agency Team Hawaii that's brokered by eXp Realty. And I have the privilege and honor of having with me today the one and only and the most amazing John Tsai. John, I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute to just briefly introduce yourself. But prior to that, I just wanted to share how inspirational you've been when we met you at Build 2022. It was so amazing and so inspiring. And we immediately wanted you to come on over to Hawaii and share all the goodness that you have in stored, and primarily your teachings of how to be a beast. So go ahead and take it away. Share a little bit about yourself, and we'll go ahead and dig right in onto how to beast up.
Sounds great. Thank you for having me, Misty. And it's a great opportunity to be able to share on a different platform, and the audience being in Hawaii. And my favorite place, by the way, on earth is Hawaii. So thank you. Hope to see you all soon. My name is John Tsai. I've been in real estate now 17 years here in Greater Vancouver. And I've been in Canada for the past 31 years. We moved here in 1991. And, growing up as an immigrant, it was actually tough. Being bullied a lot, being made fun of, didn't speak a word of English, and, feeling really alone because I was here and my parents went back and forth. So I was always kind of had to fend for myself. And, my older siblings, which are 10 years, 12 years, and 13 years older, they were never with me during the time I was growing up by myself here in Canada. And so a lot of bullying, a lot of just wasn't positive stuff growing up. But I utilized that. I utilized that energy, and knowing how to utilize it in my work now. 2006, I started real estate and didn't really have a direction, didn't know what to do. And immediately I was in debt. I think it was about $15,000 in debt by my first year. And 2007, it was a good year for me. My first year, I did two deals with $2,500 earned. So immediately went into debt 15,000. 2007, I had earned 104,000. And of course, I spent all the money. And I had purchased a car for $89,000 with the $104,000 that I made. And then in 2008, I was $80,000 in debt, not knowing what to do. And that during that time, Misty, is when this beast mode came in, I think. Because when you're pushed against the wall and you have nowhere to go, and all you can do is keep moving forward, which is what I did. I hired a coach, my first coach and my first mentor, Mike Ferry, and $80,000 in debt. I signed up for coaching. It was $1,500 a month. And I said, I got to make this work because I have a UBC psychology degree, which allowed me to earn $35,000 per year. And I was never going to be able to pay my $80,000 of debt off. So I said, I'm going to keep working. I got rejected a lot by my sellers. I got rejected a lot by my buyers. And I would just say to myself, I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I'm going to make this work. And each and every time it got to a point where it was like, again, the seller walked away from me again. I didn't get the price reduction. The buyer walked away from me again. 6 months of nothing. And then by month 6, Misty, from March 2009 to end of 2009, I did 33 transactions in 9 months. I just kept going. So the only thing, if I say any superpower that I have, is that I will never quit. I will always persist and persevere to no end. Because what's the alternative? Being weak and giving up, right? So that's where I took my, years and years of being bullied, right? To say, hey, you know what? I'm going to prove to everyone that has ever made fun of me, I'm going to utilize that energy to make something of myself, right? And coupled with the fact that my dad would always tell me, you'll amount to no good. You're useless. He never said he was proud of me. So it drove me to work after 2008, 9, 10. Misty, I worked 7 days a week, 12, 14-hour days to no end. And that's when I became somewhat of a beast in my work ethic, right? The results didn't come yet, but I just kept working. And from 2008 to 2016, I went from 33 transactions, gradual. And then 1 year, 2015 to 16, I went from 85 transactions to 149 transactions in 1 year. So that's what it's like, okay, beast mode, right? But then you had to kick it up to another notch, because you can, if you do 150 deals yourself, you are capped physically. Right. So I had to become a leader, and becoming a beast and becoming a leader. Right. So that's when I started to build a team, learning how to build a team. Right. But it was a revolving door because I didn't have the right pieces in place. I didn't have the right mentorship. Right. So, because I was working 7 days a week, Misty, I missed out on a lot of stuff. So 2008, when I was working, trying to get myself out of debt, my mom was sick. She had an aneurysm, and she would call me and I would never pick up her phone call. And this one time she was it was really grim because she would always talk really fast, but this message was like, John, I need you to come home. And I went home, and my brother said, Mom's in the hospital. So we went to the hospital, and the doctor said, your mom could have died. We need emergency surgery, and your mom has a 50% chance of living. And I said, wow. And my heart dropped. And but even in the waiting room, Misty, I was still doing a couple deals because I had to, right? So my mom recovered 100%. But guess what happened when my mom called me in 2009 after she was fully recovered? I wouldn't pick up her calls because I'm too busy. Right. So I missed out, being with her and just being present with my parents. And 2013, my dad got sick. And this time I had no idea he had 7 stents in his heart. My mom told me, you better go to the hospital. And the doctor told us, oh, your dad needs quadruple bypass surgery. I said, wow. And what's the success rate on that? Because mom had 50% chance. What's the success rate on my dad? And the doctor said 98%. And 98% is like, phew, right? Whatever, relax. And sure enough, he went in for the surgery, came out, everything was okay, successful surgery. But he was really loopy for about a week. And on the 7th day, he finally came to his senses. He had his first solid meal. And that night, 10 o'clock at night, I was the only one left. My mom was tired. My sister was tired. They all went back home. I was the only one there chatting with him. And he said, he held my hand. He looked me in the eye. He said, the Tsai family is yours. Right. So basically giving me the reins. And you got to realize, Misty, I was the youngest of 4 kids. Right. And he said, the Tsai family is yours. I said, what are you talking about? Don't worry about it. You're gonna be out of here. Let's go get you some nice food, and life will be great again. And we'll make sure that you exercise, get your cholesterol down, keep taking your medicine. And I said, I'll see you tomorrow. And sure enough, the nurse calls me at 3 o'clock in the morning, said, you better come down to the hospital. And we went there and we waited for 2 hours. My mom, myself, and my wife. And when the doctor came out, he said, unfortunately, right? So I had lost my dad forever. He went on to explain all this kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, just, it glazed over because I was like, okay, dad's gone, right? So for all that time that I worked so hard, Misty, becoming a beast, right? And missing out the last 7 years of his life, because at that time I was about 7 years in real estate. But all I wanted was to prove all the bullies in the past that bullied me that I was going to become something. That proved to my dad that I wanted to become something for the family, for him, and finally got his approval, right? But I missed out on a lot. So now, in my last 5 years, I've built a team, and becoming a beast and an individual agent was hard. It took me 10 years. Now I'm on the journey to become a great team leader and a beast in becoming a team leader. And this part of my journey right now, it's also the journey and becoming a beast of letting go. this is my journey now. And that's truly what I'm working on, is delegating, is becoming a beast in that, and becoming a leader and having others succeed, right? Through my energy and through my inspiration. So, I wanted to share that because I want the agents that are listening right now to realize faster that work is great. Real estate will always be there, right? But you need to be with family. If you take care of your health, you take care of your family, business will come together really, really nicely, right? And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Yes, work hard, work as hard as you can, but you also have to be a beast in being present with your family, right? So that's my journey so far. And of course, if we have time to touch on EXP, of course, EXP has contributed a lot to that. It has sped up my journey, I would say about 10 years, Misty. So yeah, that's the journey for now. And I hope that the audience listening can kind of connect with my story. And if they have any questions or need any advice, I'm here, because I've been through the grinder and I've come out on the other side, still working. I'm working really hard, but it's just in a different way. So I hope that helps. And that's my journey so far. Thank you, Misty.
That is absolutely beautiful. So heartwarming and touching. And, with culture, it's very similar to what we have, here in Hawaii. And I'm sure, with everyone, they all have their close family ties and, their cultures as well that they embrace. And that just, it inspires me. A lot of us, we're always so busy, that's just the nature of the game, right? We're just busy. And it's always been one of my things is, yes, people see me as such a busy woman here in our town, but, I always tell them I'm never too busy for you. You reach out, I am there. I always make it an extra effort. Yes, again, I'm busy, but always available. One phone call, I'm there, never too busy to be present. And your story is just so inspiring. Answer your phone calls, right? You never know what's ever going to happen. Answer that phone.
Yeah. Learn my lesson. So now, when I can't pick up, I always call my mom back almost immediately, right? Because I know she'll call for a reason. And even if it's just to, hey, I miss you, son.
Right.
Guys, pick up that phone call.
Right.
And same with your clients. They're calling you for a reason, right? Pick up.
Absolutely. Very inspiring. And yes, so through all of that, you've just confirmed that the greatest success and best reward, was getting that validation and confirmation from your dad. That is just truly the most rewarding. Nothing could ever buy time and love with your family. And that's so important.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll tell you this as well. We had an event, Misty, here in Vancouver, and we had 300 agents come. I had a lot of speakers, and I was one of the speakers in the afternoon. And I invited my mom and my sister to come and see me speak, right? And I think it was after I spoke, I was sitting beside my mom, and my mom told me, I want to speak. And I'm like, oh, what do you want to speak about, right? And my sister was so scared. My sister's like, no, don't mess it up for John, right? So my mom goes up on the stage, Misty, with the most broken English you could ever imagine. But her conviction and her confidence was there with the crowd, like, John Tsai, my son. She said, because we just purchased this house and we have a great view. She said, he buy house, $1 million view. I'm proud of him. Right? And she has said a whole bunch of other stuff, which nobody kind of understood. But Misty, that was the first time ever in 42 years my mom's ever said she's proud of me. Right? I don't know why that's important, but it was important to me. And for all those years, you know how big this is in an Asian family. When you get that validation from your mom, it was first from my father 9 years ago when he passed, and now it's from my mom. She's never said this to me, and I gave her a hug. And Misty, I've not hugged my mom since I was age 10. I'll show you. I'll show you the picture. It's you know,
That's huge. Mhm.
yeah, it is huge. And if you're Asian and you're listening to this, you know how big that is for an Asian kid. So
How
monumental for
beautiful.
me. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. That's been so inspiring. So let's go ahead and talk about EXP. If we have a little bit of
Sure.
moment to touch on that.
Sounds
Uh,
good.
How did you come about to choosing EXP of all the brokerages in the world to choose from? Why EXP Realty?
Great question. Thank you for asking. So 2016, when I did 149 deals, remember when I said was physically capped? I was losing my hair. This is all transplanted, by the way, just so you know. I was losing my hair. I was, you know, I had high blood pressure, high uric acid. I was about to get gout and everything was falling apart. My marriage, I was like, we were going through separation therapy. I said, you know what? I need a change. And so sure enough, 149 deals in 2016, 137 deals in 2017, because physically I could not carry that level of production, right? And 2018, we did 99 deals, right? But my commissions were higher, so we were kind of spoiled by market growth. But by then I was completely burnt. I said, okay, I needed multiple streams of income. And the only way, Misty, was to purchase a franchise, right? Because I had no other skills. I'm not gonna go out and sell some Amazon FBA or, you know, other products. I know real estate. That's the only thing that I know, right? So I said, okay, let's go look at Remax. Let's go look at some local brokerages. We have RollaPay, Sutton, whatever. And Remax had the best deal, actually. Get this, they can give you equity, right? By purchasing a franchise. If I were to sell it 20 years down the road, I can have some equity to show for, and then I can retire. Number two is if you recruit agents, you help them become productive, then you create a revenue share from that. And number three, KV Core, at the brokerage level, they were going to charge us $1,200 a month. I can get some leads and I can give it to the agents. When they convert, we also collect a split. So all these three big benefits, guess how much they were going to charge me? $500,000. 500,000, because you need brick and mortar, right? You need to pay for the franchise fees. You need managing broker. You need lawyer, accountant, conveyancing staff, all the whole 9 yards. They'll set it up for you, but $500,000. And so we were doing our due diligence. We're like, okay, let's go. Let's, you know, Remax, this and that, whatever. Let's just do it, because I can no longer sell real estate like that. And my partner came to me before we signed on a dotted line. He said, why don't we look at this thing? EXP has just arrived in British Columbia here, June 2018. Why don't we take a look at it before we sign? I said, okay, great. What is this ESP all about, right? And he said, well, John, you wanted three things. Number one was revenue share. Number two was equity. And number three is KV Core. Well, EXP has all three. I was like, okay, great. Well, if it's not $500,000, how much are they going to charge us? He said $199 Canadian. I said, there's no way this brokerage can offer us this much without having us pay a big, so what's the catch? He said, no catch. And he showed me how they were able to do this. They're cloud-based, there's no brick and mortar, there's no franchise fees. That way they can reinvest back into the agents for more resources to help the agent be productive and create multiple sources of income. So I said, okay, great. And you know, I'm super analytical and super skeptical. So if you are one of those guys, the audience listening, I've done the research for you. Okay. I did 4 months of my own research. I watched all the YouTube videos and I interviewed 6 people at EXP. Guess who they are, Misty? Rob Flick, number one guy at EXP. Rob Flick, Gene Frederick,
Of course.
Frank Gove, Cliff Freeman, Christian Bear, and Steve Merritt.
You hit them all.
I hit them all. Actually, I interviewed with Michelle Sayward and Mark Z as well.
Wow.
2 groups, and they were all promised. And Haas Pratt. So that's 9 people. That's 9 people.
Amazing.
Yeah, and they brought out all the big guns for me. I was super grateful for it. I had no idea who they were, right?
Right.
So I said, okay, my last conversation was with Cliff Freeman. And Cliff Freeman was very gracious, and he ran me through the revenue share program. He ran me through the stocks, and he said, John, you know, I wouldn't tell anybody else this, but I know, I can see it in your eyes that you want this. I know you want this, and I know you could do it. The revenue share, the equity, I know you'll make it work. But let me ask you this question though. If you were to come and in 3 to 6 months, let's say, you don't get the equity, you don't make money off of equity, the revenue share doesn't work, and you don't do any deals from KB Core, then who are you? I said, oh, well, I guess I'm still a grinder, prospecting all day and doing my deals and taking my listings. I guess nothing changes. You can always go back to Remax. I said, okay, great. So I said, Cliff, I'll think about it. And before I let you go, how much is your monthly revenue share at this time, Cliff? He said $55,000 that month. I said, wow, that would take care of all my bills, Misty. Got off the phone. I said, I'll let you know. November 2018, that was. My wife tapped me on the shoulder. Wide-eyed, she looked at me and she says, you need to get involved now. I said, okay. And we signed that night.
Amazing.
She said, we never see you. That back November 2018, my first daughter, she was 5 months old. And I missed out on her first year of her life completely because I was always grinding and never had any time for her. So we signed up January 1st, 2019. And by mid last year, our revenue share, Misty, was $55,000. And these guys, they all promised me that they were gonna take care of me, that they would always be there for me, and they did not let me down. Right? And the revenue share portion of this whole thing, obviously it changed our lives. We were able to travel, Misty, for 7 weeks in a row during the hottest market in 2022. I said, you know what, guys, the team, you got this. We're gonna go on a trip.
Yeah.
Right? So remember, I was working 12, 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Misty, today I work 4 days a week, 4-hour days.
Beautiful.
So I don't mean to say this to impress you, but to impress upon you that if you want multiple sources of income, if you want to just simply keep more of your commissions, it's just a more financially responsible model, right, than any other company that I've ever seen. Okay, so if you are considering right now, really, I invite you to take a deep look at it. You owe it to yourself and your family to at least take a look at it and make sure you understand what you're looking at. And don't just write it off like saying, you know, it's a pyramid scheme. Be open-minded. Changes lives.
Well, you're a perfect example of grit and grind, you know, and look, you now get to enjoy and just reap the benefits of all of that. You know, it took hard work, you did it. And quality of life is so important, you know, for all of us. And that's just a perfect example of what you did, you know, and how to be a beast. I can't even explain it any other way. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Can you share with us, you have a book out, right, on Amazon?
Yes.
Great. Go ahead and share a little bit about that. And we'd love to go ahead and share that, you know, with our viewers, and go ahead and, you know, take a look at your book that you have on Amazon.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me grab it and I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like.
Awesome.
Very small book. It's, you know, 85 pages of my journey, basically. But it's all, you know, the 13 iron laws of next level sales performance. And each and every chapter are all these struggles that I went through and how I overcome all those struggles based on these iron laws. Okay. And, you know, I would say one of the biggest ones is, for me, even you'll relate to it in different stages of your career. At this stage of my career is the chapter of detachment. That's the biggest point for me right now. But there are 12 other chapters that can help you with your sales career. Be a beast in your commitment and in your detachment, right? You really have to let go. When things are good, guys, let it go.
Mhm.
When things are bad, guys, let it go. Because whatever it may be, positive or negative, it'll pass. And when you're up, be humble, right? When you're down, be grateful and let go. It's never as good as it seems, but it's never as bad as it seems either.
Very true.
So you just gotta keep on trekking along and keep doing your work. It's just one day at a time. Enjoy the journey and let go of everything else. You're put on here on earth for a reason. You're here to contribute. If you just contribute in a big way and you give a lot of value to your community and your business, you will be compensated. The money will come as a result of your work. Not because you want it, not because you need it, but because you deserve it through providing value. So I hope that makes sense.
That was perfect. I am beyond grateful for you. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate you. How can we find you on social media?
Yes, it's Tsai Real Estate on either TikTok or Instagram. Those are the two biggest platforms that I use. And you know what? You can book a call with me, 15 minutes. I'll walk you through. It's absolutely free. I don't charge for these, little discovery calls and whatnot. And I just want to be able to help because EXP has provided me with the financial benefits that I can say that I no longer need to sell real estate to live. I get to sell real estate and I get to help people. Right, so I'm here to serve, and Missy, I want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share with the audience today. I'm giving it my all every single day, and you guys should too. Live today to the fullest. Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping we can have you here in Hawaii at one of our Level Up conferences. We'll be in touch. Thank you so much, everyone. Continue to live full and feel free to join us, when I get this live on our YouTube and on our social media. We'd love to talk story. Doesn't have to be about EXP, but just about life in general. Thank you so much, John. Blessings to you and your family.
Thank you, Misty.
Mahalo.
See you soon.
Aloha.